The Pacific Ocean covers 63 million square miles. It is a desert of water, so vast that you can drift for a year and never see a ship. Statistically, if your engine fails 20 miles out without a radio, you are dead. If you survive the first week without fresh water, you are a medical anomaly. Jose Salvador Alvarenga beat the statistics. Not for a week, not for a month. He floated in a small fiberglass coffin for 438 days. This is not just a story about survival. It is a story about what remains of a human being when everything else is stripped away by salt, sun, and time. November 17th, 2012. Costa Azul, Mexico. Alvarenga is a machine. He is 36 years old, stocky, built from years of hauling heavy nets. He is famous in the village for two things: his ability to drink everyone under the table and his fearlessness on the water. He has a daughter back home. He has promised her he will return. He plans a deep-sea shark fishing run, a 30-hour trip. Get in, fill the boat, get out. His usual partner backs out at the last minute. Alvarenga needs a second pair of hands. He hires Ezequiel Cordoba, a 22-year-old kid, inexperienced, nervous. He just wants the $50 for the job. They load the boat, a 25-foot open skiff made of fiberglass. No cabin, no roof. They pack light. Gasoline, fishing gear, a little water, some sandwiches. They don't pack for a voyage. They pack for a shift. They head out. The sea is calm. The fishing is good, too good. They stay longer than they planned, filling the hull with shark and mahi-mahi. Greed is a dangerous captain. By afternoon, the sky turns a bruised purple. The wind shifts. It's a norte, a violent winter storm system known for sinking boats in minutes. Alvarenga knows they are in trouble. He turns the boat toward land. He pushes the single outboard motor to its limit. The waves go from 3 feet to 15 feet. They are mountains of moving water crushing down on the small boat. They are 70 miles out. Water pours over the sides. They begin frantically bailing with buckets. If they stop bailing for 5 minutes, they sink. Then, the first catastrophe. The motor coughs, sputters, dies. Alvarenga pulls the cord. Again. Nothing. The fuel line is flooded. They are now dead in the water. Alvarenga grabs the radio. He manages to send one desperate mayday to his boss back on shore. "The motor is dead! We are taking on water!" His boss screams back. "Drop the anchor! Stay put!" "I have no anchor!" Alvarenga yells. He had left it behind to save weight for more fish. The radio battery dies. Silence. The storm rages for 5 days. They don't sleep. They bail water. To keep the boat from capsizing in the violent waves, Alvarenga makes a brutal decision. He throws the catch overboard. Thousands of dollars of fish. Then the gasoline. Then the ice. They are left with nothing but the boat itself, a knife, and a small ice chest. When the clouds finally break on day 6, the silence is terrifying. The ocean is flat like glass. They scan the horizon. 360 degrees of nothing. They have drifted hundreds of miles off course. They have no food. They have no fresh water. The sun begins to rise. Thirst is the first torture. The human body can last 3 days without water before critical organ failure begins. By day 4, their tongues swell up in their mouths. Their throats feel filled with broken glass. The sun is merciless. There is no shade on the boat. They huddle under the small ice chest for inches of relief. The fiberglass hull absorbs the heat, becoming hot to the touch. They begin to hallucinate. They see rivers flowing across the ocean surface. Alvarenga, desperate, does the unthinkable. He urinates into a cup and drinks it. He forces Cordoba to do the same. It's salty, vile, but it buys them a few more hours of moisture. Then, a miracle. A sea turtle surfaces near the boat. Alvarenga, driven by primal instinct, dives into the water. He grabs the turtle. It fights, thrashing its flippers, scratching his chest. He wrestles it into the boat. He has no fire. He takes his knife and slices the turtle's neck. He doesn't eat the meat first. He drinks the blood. It is warm, thick, and metallic. To a dying man, it tastes like life. They gorge on the raw meat. They cut the remaining flesh into thin strips and lay them on the boat to dry in the sun. Jerky. They have learned the first rule of the New World. You are no longer a fisherman. You are a predator. Weeks pass. Time loses its shape. They develop a routine. They scan for birds. They learn to stay perfectly still like statues until a seabird lands on the edge of the boat to rest. Then Alvarenga strikes, a lightning-fast grab. He snaps the neck instantly. They eat everything. The meat, the organs, the contents of the stomach. But while Alvarenga adapts, Ezequiel Cordoba begins to fade. The young man is psychologically broken. He spends days crying for his mother. He cannot stomach the raw food. The turtle blood makes him vomit, which dehydrates him even faster. The dynamic in the small boat shifts. Alvarenga becomes the caretaker. He cuts the best pieces of meat for the boy. He tries to tell jokes. He talks about the giant barbecue they will have when they get home. Cordoba just stares at the bottom of the boat. The turning point is a single seabird. They catch one that has eaten something poisonous. Hours after eating it, both men become violently ill. Their stomachs convulse. Alvarenga recovers after 2 days. Cordoba does not. The boy stops eating entirely. He gives up. "I am going to die," he whispers. Alvarenga shakes him. "Don't be an idiot. We are survivalists. We are kings of the ocean." But the mind kills the body. Cordoba retreats into a delirious state. He stops moving. Month 3. Cordoba looks at Alvarenga. His eyes are cloudy. "Don't eat me," he says. Alvarenga promises, "I won't." Moments later, Cordoba takes a shuddering breath and stops. Alvarenga is now truly alone. But his mind refuses to accept it. For 6 days, the corpse of Ezequiel Cordoba sits in the boat with him. Alvarenga begins to talk to him. "How do you feel today, Ezequiel?" he asks. Then Alvarenga answers his own question in a different voice. "I feel better, Salvador. The sleep helped." They have long conversations about fishing, about women, about the weather. It is a necessary madness, a defense mechanism against the crushing weight of total isolation. But on the 7th day, reality breaks through. The smell becomes undeniable. Alvarenga knows what he has to do. He says a prayer. He slides the body over the edge. He watches his only companion sink into the deep blue. When he turns back to the empty boat, the silence is louder than the storm ever was. Months, 4, 5, 6. He drifts past the point where rescue planes fly. He is in the dead zone of the Pacific. His hair and beard grow into a matted lion's mane, bleached yellow by the sun. His clothes rot off his body. He is naked, his skin burned black, covered in salt sores that refuse to heal. He exists in a state of semi-consciousness. He becomes an expert at reading the ocean. He knows which clouds hold rain. He knows the migration patterns of turtles. He invents a game to keep his mind sharp, imagining himself walking through his village, detailing every house, every tree. But despair is always waiting. Twice, he sees massive container ships, floating cities of steel. He stands, waving his arms, screaming until his voice shreds. They pass by. He's too small, a speck of debris in the waves. The second time a ship ignores him, something inside him breaks. He picks up his knife. He stares at it for a long time. The thought crosses his mind. The thought that crosses the mind of every man who has been pushed past his limit. It would be so easy to simply stop, to let the ocean take him, to be done with all of it. Then, a thought stops him. His daughter. He made a promise to return to her. He sets the knife down. He decides, if I am going to die, God will have to kill me. I will not do the job for him. Day 438, January 30th, 2014. Alvarenga is lying in the bottom of the boat, weak from weeks of poor hunting. He hears something strange, a noise that doesn't belong in the ocean. The sound of waves breaking not on water, but on something solid. He pulls himself up. His eyes, damaged by the glare, struggle to focus. He sees a line of green on the horizon. A hallucination? He has seen islands before that dissolved into mist when he got close. He watches it for an hour. It doesn't dissolve. It is a tiny atoll. A ring of coral and palm trees. He has drifted over 6,000 miles. He is near the Marshall Islands, almost to Australia. The current is pushing him toward the sharp coral reef surrounding the island. If the boat hits the reef, it will shred, and he will drown yards from safety. He has one chance. He waits for a large swell. The wave lifts the boat. He rides it over the sharp coral, crashing into the calm lagoon water inside. He falls out of the boat. The water is shallow. He feels sand under his feet for the first time in 14 months. He tries to stand. His legs, atrophied from disuse, buckle instantly. He crawls onto the beach on his hands and knees. He collapses face down in the sand and passes out. He is found by two locals who live on the remote outpost. They see a creature on the beach, a wild man, naked, skeletal, his hair wild, unable to speak a word of their language. They give him coconut water. It is the sweetest thing he has ever tasted. When the authorities finally arrive and identify him, the world doesn't believe him. It's impossible. The medical experts say no human could survive that long. They suspect he is a drug runner. They suspect he killed and ate Cordoba. But the evidence is on his body. The profound weathering of his skin. The psychological trauma in his eyes. He passes lie detector tests. The ocean currents confirm his drift pattern. It is real. Jose Salvador Alvarenga went to see a fisherman and returned a ghost. He lost his friend. He lost a year of his life. He lost his mind and had to rebuild it piece by piece. Why did he survive when others would have died in weeks? It wasn't just physical strength. It was an ability to accept a new, horrific reality without fighting it. He didn't wait for rescue. He accepted that the boat was his world and he had to live in it. His story forces us to ask an uncomfortable question. Strip away your phone, your grocery store, your roof, your society. If you were left with nothing but your own mind and an infinite horizon, what would be left of you? Alvarenga found the answer in the silence. Even when everything else is gone, the will to endure remains.